Preparation for the CSIR NET Life Science exam can be challenging as the syllabus of CSIR NET Life Science exam is enormous with 13 units and each unit with several subunits and topics. So to make your CSIR NET Life Science exam preparation easier, Biotecnika have compiled a total of 100 important topics from which questions are most likely to appear in the exam, giving you a clear plan to follow. Whether you are taking the exam for the first time or have taken it before, these topics will help you prepare effectively and confidently. So let's find out what are these 100 important topics. Always begin your preparation from basics. So prepare topics like amino acid structure and function, basic understanding of amino acid structure and function is very important to understand about proteins and fundamental processes like translation. Even numerical questions on pKa value calculation or net charge on peptide, net charge on given peptide at particular pH are expected from here. Now, once you have studied about amino acid structure and function thoroughly, then master protein structure and conformation, study about protein primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary structures, and also study about Ramachandran plot. So part C questions are expected on Ramachandran plot. Questions can be figure based or it can be statement based, which are asked in combination with the protein structure. Then focus on nucleic acids and biosynthesis. So focus on DNA structure, RNA structure, study about messenger RNA, study about different forms of DNA, form B, form Z form and their features, and also study about nucleic acid biosynthesis. Then enzymology is very important. Focus on concepts like enzyme properties, enzyme kinetics and enzyme inhibition. Especially the questions on Michaelis-Menten kinetic equations are often expected. Question can be figure based or it can be numerical based. And even questions on Vmax calculation or calculation of Km and enzyme inhibitions are also asked. So enzyme inhibition also cannot be overlooked. Thermodynamic is another important topic. Numerical questions based on delta G calculation are often expected from here. Then questions on glycolysis, Krebs cycle, the enzymes involved in different steps in glycolysis or Krebs cycle are often asked. And these topics are common with the unit 6, that is plant physiology. And also questions on bioenergetics and oxidative phosphorylation are also expected. So all these topics are covered in unit 1 of CSIR NET Life Science exam, which is molecules and their interaction relevant to biology. So this particular unit is all about biochemistry. So here you study about the basics. So start your preparation with the basics and then move over to the topics of another units given in the syllabus. Now, once you have covered the basics like about the structure and function of biomolecules, then study about the organelles. Different organelles in the cell and especially emphasize on the membrane structure and solute transport. So you should study in detail about the membrane structure, composition of membranes in detail, like different types of phospholipids and with the proteins involved, their asymmetric distribution in the membrane, and even the role of lipid raft is important. Role of lipid rafts is also important as many parts in part B questions are expected from the same. RBC membrane components should also be studied. Then one should also not miss the fluorescence recovery after photobleaching, in short FRAP technique. Part C questions are asked related to this technique. Part C questions are most often asked related to this technique, and sometimes the questions are clubbed with unit 13 as well. Then sorting of various protein sorting of various protein and entry of proteins into organelles like mitochondria and chloroplast is also a must type of question which is often asked, especially in part C of CSIR NET Life Science exam. Then questions on cytoskeletal components like actin, dynein, kinesin, direction in which cargo moves and their function in different cellular processes are also often asked. So structure and function of cytoskeleton and its role in motility is another important topic. Then statement based questions are asked in part C from chromosome structure. Questions on transposons, chromosome packaging are asked in part C of CSIR NET Life Science exam. Part B questions are asked from repetitive DNA sequences, centromeric regions, DNA acetylation, methylation. So one should know these terms with examples, if any. So one should study about the structure of chromatin and chromosomes. Then cell cycle is again very important. You study about cell cycle in unit 2, subunit D of unit 2. And like cell cycle is important because you study about recombination and crossing over in unit 8 as well. So the basic concepts of cell cycle should be clear. And even the questions, like questions from anaphase promoting complex, meiosis, mitosis are frequently asked. So you should be very clear about what is happening in a particular stage of a cell cycle, like what is happening in anaphase 1 of in meiosis 1 and what is happening in anaphase 2, right, in meiosis 2, and where the ploidy is changing and where it is not. And even one should be familiar with one should study the cell cycle progression also, and its regulation is important, especially the role of P53 and also the role of different type of cyclins and CDKs along with their specific role. Even one should expect questions based on microbial growth kinetics. Numerical questions can be asked, or sometimes like match the following type questions are asked on different about the growth conditions of bacteria, like they give you the terms like acidophile, thermophile, and they give you the examples and they'll ask you that you have to find the correct combination. The questions on growth curve, like figure based questions, are also asked based on the microbial growth kinetics, bacterial growth kinetics. The question can be about a specific stage of bacterial growth, like stationary phase or log phase. And yes, numerical questions are also expected. So all these topics are from unit 2 of CSIR NET Life Science syllabus, and that is cellular organization. I'm sure you all have heard of central dogma of molecular biology. Unit 3 of CSIR NET Life Science exam is structured around this central dogma of molecular biology, where you study about the processes, fundamental processes like replication, transcription, and translation. So from unit 3, all the 3 fundamental processes are important, and begin your preparation by studying about DNA replication and repair. So from here, you may expect direct questions in part B based on origin of replication, that is oocytes in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then questions on Okazaki fragments and questions on DNA polymerase, different type of DNA polymerase, clinofragment, detailed structure for DNA polymerase 3, holoenzyme, and telomerase. Then even the questions are commonly asked on basic functions of replisome enzymes and the effect and consequences of mutations on them. And part C questions are framed on bidirectional forks and components involved. Then even be prepared to conquer all aspects related to Michelson and Stahl experiment. Questions based on pattern of inheritance of heavy and light DNA strands with and without heavier isotopes of nitrogen respectively are often asked in part C of CSIR NET Life Science exam. And even the other proposed mechanisms like conservative and dispersive should also be covered, as hypothetical and experimental based questions could be expected in part C from these mechanisms. Then even repair mechanism is important, like in June 2024. This year, June 2024 exam, also the question on repair mechanism was also asked. So indirect questions can be asked in part B, and little analysis and interpretation can enable you in cracking part C questions too. The next topic which you need to prepare from this unit is RNA synthesis and processing. So about transcription you need to study here, and within this topic every detail about transcription initiation, elongation, termination in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes must be nailed down. Then next you need to study about protein synthesis and processing, and especially post-translation modifications are important. So post-translation modifications involve key mechanisms to regulate activity, localizations and interactions of protein with other cellular molecules. So this must also be emphasized during preparation. And even like about the protein localization and the sorting you study in unit 2. Like this topic you can commonly prepare with organelle specific protein trafficking from unit 2. Next topic is operon model and regulation, which is important. So study about lac operon, tryptophan operon, arabinose operon. Theory-based questions are expected from the operon system. They are often asked in part C of CSIR NET Life Science exam. And then gene regulation phase is also important. So switching of the lytic cycle over lysogenic cycle in viruses is the key topic which need to be studied from here. So as mentioned earlier, that all these topics are covered in unit 3, that is fundamental processes. Now, once you have studied the important topics from unit 1, 2 and 3, then focus on topics from unit 4, which is about cell communication and cell signaling. So start from host-parasite interaction, study about host immune responses to bacterial infection, bacterial evasion mechanisms. Then study about cell signaling receptors like G protein coupled receptors, nuclear receptors, study about receptor enzymes, and study about JAK-STAT pathway. Then also study about cell-cell and cell matrix interactions. So basically these topics are covered in cellular communication, one major topic. So within cellular communication, you need to emphasize on cell-cell and cell matrix interactions, cell adhesion and rules of different adhesion molecules, and also about ECM proteins. From apoptosis, you need to study about sequence of events, the proteins involved, and once you study about apoptosis, then study about cancer, study about oncogenes, study about tumor suppressor genes, study about cancer and the cell cycle, how cancer and cell cycle they are related. Then next you have to study about the topics from immunology, which is also a part covered in cell communication and cell signaling. So from immunology, you need to study about different immune receptors and their diversity, study about major histocompatibility molecules, antigen processing and presentation, study about B and T cell maturation and activation. Even you need to study complement system, cell-mediated cytotoxicity, and even you need to focus on hypersensitivity and autoimmunity. So all these topics are important from unit 4, that is cell communication and cell signaling. Next unit is unit 5, which is developmental biology. So in this unit you study about both plant and animal development. Now studying developmental biology may be daunting with many topics, but very important for those candidates which are planning to score in animal physiology. So start with basic terms and terminologies of developmental biology. Focus on the terms and terminologies first, like induction, study about induction, competence, specification, differentiation and determination, and more. Then cleavage divisions, gastrulations and axis formation in sea urchin, amphibians, chicks and mammals is another important topic. So cleavage patterns are an important topic because in the question paper, direct questions are usually asked from this topic. So direct questions that are conceptual and easy to answer are often asked from this topic. The next topic is Drosophila development and organogenesis. So Drosophila early development, genes involved like zygotic and maternal effect genes, questions are often asked from here. Then limb formation and regeneration is another important topic. Vulva development in C. elegans. Neurulation is also important. And especially in plant developmental biology, ABC model of flower development is very important. Then from unit 6, which is plant physiology, you need to study photosynthesis, respiration and photorespiration. From photosynthesis, you need to be familiar about light reaction and dark reaction. Then respiration and photorespiration, you need to study about nitrate and ammonium assimilation, study about different plant hormones, study about structure and function, mechanisms of action of phytochromes, cryptochromes and phototrophin, even study about stomatal movement. Then mechanism of loading and unloading of photoassimilates is another important topic from this unit, and also study about secondary metabolites. So all these topics are important from unit 6. So always begin your preparation from the important topics. Now if you see the CSIR NET life science paper exam trend, even the topics which were not very important questions have been asked from those topics. Like this year in June 2024 paper, we have seen such trend. So it's important that you prepare all the topics, but especially if you have to emphasize on the important topics, like especially during the revision, if you want to emphasize on the important topics, then definitely these are the important topics that you can go through. Next unit is unit 7, which is animal physiology. So here are the topics, important topics from this unit. So focus on homeostasis mechanisms, study about ECG, that is electrocardiogram. Now this topic is common with unit 13. So if the question is about the principle or application of the technique, it is framed from unit 13. But if it is merged with with the cardiac cycle events happening, then it is framed from unit 7. Now to study about this technique ECG, you need to be thorough with the cardiac cycle. So study about cardiac cycle and then study about ECG principle and significance and application. Then also study about how heart acts as a pump and study about blood pressure. Then next important topic is respiratory system. Now in respiratory system, you have to study about comparison of respiration in different species, transport of gases, anatomical considerations, exchange of gases, and also neural and chemical regulation of respiration is important. Then study about the function of different parts of neurons and also study about action potential. Then physiology of vision and hearing is important. Then excretory system, you need to study about urine concentration, waste elimination, regulation of water balance, blood volume, blood pressure, electrolyte balance, acid-base balance. Then also you need to study endocrinology and reproduction. So in endocrinology, study about endocrine glands, like in reproduction, study about basic mechanism of hormone action, reproductive processes, gametogenesis, ovulation, and also study about the hormones and the diseases associated with the imbalance of the hormones. And even when you are studying about the respiration, you also need to focus on the factors which are affecting the oxygen saturation curve. So all these topics are important from Unit 7. Then next unit is Unit 8, Inheritance Biology, which is all about genetics. So always start with the basics of genetics. So study about Mendelian principles and its extensions. Study about concept of dominance, principle of segregation, independent assortment. Then study about the extensions of Mendelian principles. So study the terms like codominance, incomplete dominance, study about pleiotropy, genomic imprinting, penetrance and expressivity, phenocopy. Then once you are thorough with the basics, then study about linkage mapping and physical mapping. This is the most important topic from Unit 8 because every year questions are asked from mapping, linkage mapping mostly, and also sometimes from physical mapping. So questions either on gene order or numerical based question on calculation of recombination frequency or to calculate the distance between the genes are often asked from linkage mapping. Then from physical mapping, question can be asked on somatic cell hybridization or deletion mapping. So a figure based question or a data table based question is asked from here. Then even microbial gene mapping is important. Study about the sex duction, mapping genes by interrupted mating. Then pedigree analysis is also most important because either part B or part C question is expected on pedigree analysis. So pedigree family tree is given, and on the basis of analysis of pedigree, we have to find out the inheritance pattern of the disease or even probability. The pedigree analysis questions can be topic can be merged with the probability in genetics. So like a pedigree, a family tree is given, and you have to find out the probability of getting a particular genotype in the progeny. Then even questions on mutation and complementation test is often asked, like whether the gene associated, whether the mutation is associated with in a single gene or in more than one gene. Then transposomes also questions are asked. Now transposomes you study in Unit 3 also. So this topic is common with Unit 3. So if you are studying it in Unit 3, you can skip it from here. And also questions on tetrad analysis are often asked. Like this year also in June 2024 CSIR NET Life Science exam, question on tetrad analysis was there. So you need to be thorough with what is ordered tetrad, what is unordered tetrad, and how to calculate the recombination frequency in case of tetrad analysis. And also you need to know about the order of the S-cospose, like the ratio, especially the ratio of the S-cospose we are getting in case of ordered analysis. And also you need to be familiar with the terms like what is tetratype, what is parental ditype, and NPD, non-parental ditype. So either numerical questions or figure-based or statement-based questions are asked from here. Unit 9 is diversity of life forms. So those having background of botany and zoology can definitely score well in this unit, the questions which are asked from this unit. And usually here the questions which are asked in Unit 9, they are in common with the topics that you study in Unit 10 and 11. So from Unit 9, you need to emphasize on the classical and quantitative methods of taxonomy, classification of plants, animals and microorganisms, study about domestication and also organisms of conservation concern. So from classical and quantitative methods of taxonomy, you need to focus on phonetic system and the cladistic method of taxonomy. Then classification of plants, animals and microorganisms. This is a very important topic from this unit. Every year question do come on the classification, either on plant classification or animal classification or classification of fungi. And either the features are given and you have to find out that the features belong to which taxa or group, like is it from Pisces or mammals or etc. Similarly, from plant kingdom, the features on like bryophytes can be given, or thallophyte can be given, or pteridophyte can be given, and you have to find out that these features are of which group. And then also simply the examples can be given, and you have to find out that all these examples belong to which taxa or group. Then even the question on apomorphies can be asked. The apomorphies can be given and you have to find out, like you have to determine the sequence from primitive to advanced or vice versa, depending on what is asked in the question. Then from domestication also question do come, but we don't know, it can be on animal domestication or crop domestication. Usually match the following type questions are often asked from here. And even from organisms of conservation concern, match the following type questions are asked. And this topic is common with Unit 10. So in Unit 10 you study about conservation biology. So if you are studying this topic from here, you can skip it from Unit 10. So either they'll give you the name of the species, plant or animal species, and they ask you like whether they are endangered. So they ask you about their status. Or maybe they give you the name of the species and they ask you that they are the key species of belong to which national park. So such type of questions are often expected from this Unit 9 and this particular topic, organisms of conservation concern. Then another unit is Unit 10, which is about ecological principles, and this unit is again very important in scoring. So from this unit you can begin your preparation with population ecology, species interactions, community ecology, ecological succession, ecosystem ecology, biogeography, and ecological rules. So or to emphasize, like if you just want to, especially during the revision process, if you want to emphasize on the important topics. So these are the important topics from Unit 10. And we can expect figure-based, numerical-based, or statement-based questions from this unit. Next unit is Unit 11, Evolution and Behavior. Focus on scientists and their theories of evolution. Earlier, there were no questions asked on the scientist name and their theories of evolution in CSIR Net Life Science exam. But if you go through the past 1 or 2 year CSIR Net Life Science paper, you will find that questions do come on scientists and their theories of evolution. So usually match the following type questions are asked. So don't forget to go through the scientist and their theory of evolution. Then study about paleontological history of Earth, study about evolutionary time scale, major events in evolutionary time scales. Then study about phylogenetic tree. So phylogenetic tree you also study about phylogenetic tree, you also study in Unit 9. So combination based question can be asked, like arthropod phylogenetic tree can be given, and you have to find out which tree is correct or incorrect. And even like the terms, the questions on terms like monophyletic, paraphyletic, polyphyletic group is also asked. The next very important topic from Unit 11 is Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Mostly every year questions, we do expect question from this topic. Question can be numerical based or simply on the the question on the concept can be asked. So be thorough with the mechanism, the concept, and the numericals associated with this Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Next important topic is speciation, parental investment and care, altruism. So study about altruism and kin selection concept, and even migration. Unit 12 is applied biology. Again, you need not to prepare the entire unit. You can do selective study. So if you are doing selective study, focus on agrobacterium mediated gene transformation. This is a very important topic from Unit 12. Every year there is a question on agrobacterium mediated gene transfer. It can be on the question can be on the role of the Verge genes which are involved in the transformation, or either the questions can be on the transgene expression. Then question also do come on gene therapy. Especially you need to be familiar with the advanced gene therapy tools like CRISPR-Cas9 technique is a very powerful gene editing tool that is being used nowadays in gene therapy. Then breeding in plant and animal also question can be asked, and especially associated with the markers, like molecular markers questions do come. So molecular markers you study in Unit 8 also, you study in Unit 13 also. So it's very important that molecular marker topic you specifically study from here, from Unit 12 or maybe from Unit 8 or Unit 13. So this topic is important. Then sometimes questions do come on plant or animal tissue culture. usually questions are statement based. And yes, sometimes either match the following type question or statement based question do come on the terms like bioremediation, phytoremediation, and also on biosensors. Then unit 13 is the last unit of which is given in the CSIR NET Life Science syllabus, and it is about the techniques and their applications. So unit 13 is methods in biology. Now, although many techniques are given in unit 13 is very vast, and it's very difficult to understand which technique to focus and which technique to skip. So first of all, unit 13 is very important. You cannot skip, and you have to prepare all the techniques, and especially you have to emphasize on the topics or the techniques which I will be showing you now. So study about restriction enzyme and digestion. Part B question or part C question you can expect from here. So either the question on the cloning and the digestion is often asked in the CSIR NET Life Science exam. You have to find out once the digestion is done, so you have to find out how many fragments are generated, or what is the number of size of fragments, what is the size of fragments which are generated when the complete digestion is performed or incomplete digestion is performed. And also you need to be familiar with the role of different restriction enzyme, like which enzyme generates sticky end, which enzyme generate blunt end. Classification of restriction enzyme is important. Then blotting techniques. Direct question are often not asked on blotting technique like southern, northern or western blotting, but yes, experimental based question do come where either a concept is combined, like the concept from unit 3 or unit 4 is taken and it is combined with the, or unit 2 also, and it is combined with the technique from unit 13, blotting technique from unit 13, like northern blotting or western blotting. So in exam you will find, CSIR NET Life Science exam, you will find a lot of questions where they give you a western blot and northern blot, and so an experimental based question is given, and in the data in the question they give you the northern or western blot data, and you have to analyze it and answer the question based on that. So definitely to answer the such type of questions also which requires the analytical skills, you need to be familiar with the techniques like northern or western blotting and even southern blotting. Then either a direct question on RIA, radioimmunoassay, or ELISA or ELISA spot assay is asked, or maybe a combination based question like a statement based question where one statement related to RIA is given or ELISA is given, and next ELISA spot is given, and you have to find out which statement is correct or incorrect. Or a direct experimental based question on radioimmunoassay or ELISA can be asked. Then flow cytometry topic has been very important from exam point of view. If you go through the previous year question papers, question do come on flow cytometry. So either direct question or in combination with unit 4 concept, it is often asked. Then next important topic from unit 13 is UV visible spectroscopy. So from UV visible spectroscopy, application based questions are often expected, or question can be a figure based question, an experimental question where spectra is given, and you have to analyze the spectra and you have to find out, like some statements are given based on the spectra given, and you have to find out which statement is correct or incorrect. Or even numerical questions are expected from here. So numerical questions on Beer-Lambert's law are expected, which you study in UV visible spectroscopy. But sometimes spectra based questions do come from NMR or circular dichroism also, but UV visible has been an important topic if you analyze the previous year question papers. Then a question on fluoropores, part B question on fluoropore or part C question on fluoropore and the fluorescence spectroscopy is asked. So either application based question or the questions related to fluoropores and how you will study the interaction between two proteins using the fluoropores or fluorescence spectroscopy is asked. Then as mentioned earlier that spectra based question or circular dichroism spectroscopy can also be asked, or a combination based question where the UV spectra and circular dichroism spectra is given and you have to analyze both, and based on the analysis you have to analyze the given statements and you have to find out which statement is correct or incorrect. Then yes, question do come, part C question do come on NMR spectroscopy also. Or even like part B question also, it can be asked about the nuclei which can be studied using NMR spectroscopy, and part C questions are usually experimental based and data analysis based. Then mass spectrometry is also important. Part B or Part C questions are expected, and especially combination based questions are expected where you have to analyze the post translation modifications using mass spectrometry. So to answer such questions, you need to be familiar with the application of mass spectrometry principle and application, and also about different type of post-translation modifications like ubiquitination and acylation and glycosylation and phosphorylation and more. Then among the microscopy, phase contrast microscope, fluorescence and confocal microscope and electron microscope is very important. So either direct Part B question on application of phase contrast or confocal or fluorescence is asked, or even immunofluorescence can be asked, or it can be a Part C question. And especially if you go through the like if you look at the trend, then question on advanced microscopy technique is asked, that is on super resolution microscopy. So either Part C question can be on sample preparation for the electron microscope, or it can be on transmission or scanning electron microscope. So question on fixation and staining technique for electron microscope is asked for SEM and TEM, or question on super resolution microscopy. So either statement based question or match the following type questions are asked, where different super resolution microscopy they give you in one column and their description in another column, and you have to choose the correct combination. Then as mentioned earlier, molecular marker topic is very important, which is in common with unit 8 and unit 12. So if it is coming in with if the molecular markers, like direct Part B question can be asked, like especially on the terms like which markers are codominant and which markers are dominant. So when you are studying about the markers, you should be thorough with this concept that which marker is codominant marker and which marker is dominant marker, or which can be used to identify biallelic mutation or multi-allelic mutation. And even figure based questions you can expect from here. So like they give you a mapping, gene map, or like they give you the gel profile of the parent and the progeny, and they'll ask you that which molecular marker is being used for analysis, right? So in combination with unit 8 it can be asked, or in unit 12 where related to agrobacterium mediated gene transfer, they can ask you the question. Then radioisotope types, decay process and half-life is another important topic. You need to be thorough with the examples of radioisotopes, like if is it carbon 12 or carbon 13 or carbon 14, which is stable isotope, which is radioisotope. So you should be familiar with the examples. You should be familiar with different type of decay process, alpha decay by release of alpha particle or beta particle, beta plus, beta minus decay, and emission of gamma particle. And also like numerical based questions can be asked on the half-life. You have to calculate the half-life. And ECG and EEG is again very important topic from unit 13. Every year either a question often asked is from ECG. As I told you earlier that question directly, if it is on principle and application, it is from unit 13, but it can be asked in combination with the concept from unit 7 also, where you study about cardiac cycle. And electroencephalogram is like electrocardiogram, and EEG, electroencephalography is also important, where the questions regarding the placement of the electrodes or the measurement of the signals or the EEG waves which are generated, the signals which are received based on the analysis of the questions on analysis of the waves are also asked. And similarly, questions on the analysis of the waves from ECG is also expected. And lastly, questions on probability distributions, which you study in statistical methods, is important. Like if we go through the exam paper trend, questions do come from the probability distributions most often, like either on normal distribution or Poisson distribution, or even like they'll give you the question on the skewed distribution. So it can be a figure based, it can be a statement based. So all these topics are important. Kindly note that now the level of the exam is increasing, and the questions do come from the important topics which I have mentioned, but even the topics which we used to consider not important, from there also questions can be asked. So you emphasize on the important topics, but don't forget to pay attention to or study the other topics as well which are given in the syllabus. So everything is important, but when you are studying, whichever units you have selected, while preparing those units, you can emphasize on the important topics. You can begin your preparation with the important topics, but don't forget to study the other topics as well given in the respective units that you are preparing for the CSI and NET Life Science exam. So with this, I end this session. Thank you and take care.